Welcome to our fourth festival chat with a great friend of mine, Samuel Staples, wonderful violinist and very dear colleague. We played together a lot, and he came to the festival last year and was going to be coming this year to especially lead the Brahms Sextet, B-flat Sextet, which we were very much looking forward to. And I gather that you actually played through the first violin part on the day of when our festival was supposed to happen, which I found really moving. You
Not
did?
very well. Losing 5 parts detracts from the effect a little bit, but it was one of the concerts I think that really, in your diary, I think you have sort of concerts and then you have concerts that sort of have like a sort of little star next to them. You look forward to those ones. It was going to be a great few days.
So did you feel like as soon as lockdown hit, did you feel that you were able to make a complete a mind switch and completely adapt flexibly to like a new path and a new strategy straight away, or did it take a while to sort of actually come to terms with the fact that we can only be reliant on our own sort of like desire and drive and motivation to actually do something for ourselves that no one else is necessarily going to see?
I think it's probably taken until the last week or so, but enjoying it a lot more, I think. I think the first few weeks, I don't know how you felt, but I felt a huge sort of obligation to be practicing and felt that I was like, right, this is the time,
Yeah, the time we've been waiting for.
Yeah, exactly. I've needed this since I was like my fourth finger's going to be, like
Yeah.
Arnold Schwarzenegger in 3 months. And of course, by the day 5, I just watched incredible amounts of Netflix, and I didn't think I'd even got the violin out of the case. But every day I was saying, no, this is the day.
Have you taken up any more, or have you revisited any hobbies that you did before violin sort of obliterated your life?
Obliterated being a very, very choice. I didn't think before, I was never really a very hobby-orientated person. I think that because of when we were at school so early, there wasn't, other than like, a quick kick about on a Wednesday afternoon at times. There just weren't so many opportunities for that kind of thing, other than more extracurricular hobbies, that yoga classes most every 2 days with the wonderful Jonathan.
Have you been doing that since the beginning?
I had a sabbatical in the middle. I hurt my neck doing something typical me. Touch wood, like never had any serious playing injuries. I was walking down the stairs, skipped a step, and jammed my neck. Yeah, it's so mean. I mean, it was fine after like 5 days. It was just so classic.
Did you land just straight on your heel?
Yeah, and just went like, and I went like, oh.
Did you feel like a sharp pain just go all the way up?
Yeah, it was bizarre. But I mean, if I'd been working, I would have been completely out for the whole week. But I did look that week and see what I would have had to have done. It was quite a busy week.
Did you just have to spend it lying down for the few days?
Yeah, which was terrible, obviously. So I had to take a sabbatical from Ferrucci Yoga, or as he calls it on his Facebook group, Namaste at Home, which I particularly like.
I just haven't plucked up the courage to actually join and do yoga poses in front of everybody else and actually see everybody.
I mean, categorically, I cannot do it. It's wonderful. Johnny will be like, doing something, putting his leg over his head and like
remarkably flexible. Yeah.
And then he'll be like, breathe into the stretch, guys, and we're like, what? Like, obviously, I obviously can't do that. It has been verging on life-changing, actually. I think a feeling of like bodily wellness that I think I've probably never felt.
No, we never have time for it. I mean, that's something I've tried to invest in as much as possible. Just stuff that you really wouldn't have time to do.
But maybe coming out of this, maybe one change would be, I don't know about you, but I do sometimes feel like there are some months or like 2-3 month periods when it is sort of like, right, helmet on. Here we go. Rather than sort of, yes, I'm really physically and emotionally prepared for this concert. It's like I survived another one, dodged that bullet again. You have witnessed me, and I'm sure, struggle through just about survived plenty of concerts.
Has this time sort of felt like, when you look back, you can branch it into segments over the last 3 months, or has it all felt like just one stream of consciousness that's just merged into one?
Good question. I have no idea. I think it does feel kind of timeless, I think, to a degree. More and more I can split it up. I started practicing the viola like a month ago, which I'd never really done. We were supposed to play at school, but I never really did. I don't know, maybe they thought I was too scrawny. Yeah, since I've started practicing the viola, it's given me quite a lot, strangely enough, like a feeling of sort of purpose. But because I'm really bad with the progress, I also have a horrendous viola. I mean, it really is like covered with strings. Because I'm so bad, I see drastic improvement, because the starting point was so low, but like after 2 weeks I was like, yeah, I'm improving, I'm really getting there. With the fiddle, it's just sort of like, I don't know.
After a certain while, it's so incremental that you only notice it when you look back and listen to stuff like 6 months before.
I think the times I find it easiest to practice and do when I feel like the violin is something to sort of fiddle around with. If practicing can be fun, we'll get through this whole thing. if practice is still work and a chore, I think I'm definitely screwed. At the moment, if I put it in the same category as playing FIFA, then I tend to enjoy it. If it's
Zoom concerts are so unsatisfying. You've done one, haven't you?
yeah, I did one. I mean, but I played like a 10-minute of a Westhoff suite, but like nobody knows. Hopefully, if anybody did see that and you actually know the Westhoff suite, I am really sorry. Maybe due to my Zoom concerts for the St. Luke's Music Society in Clapham, Westhoff suite will have a whole new resurgence in the repertoire.
What, best of?
Westhoff, best of. That's a great album name. Then
Giving you Goldmine.
could be my self-released debut album during Corona time.
Yeah.
He's a really cool composer, actually. 1680s. He was writing these violin suites, and there are 6 of them. I don't know, I always feel like Bach had heard them. Like, just the way he uses the chordal stuff and the way he sort of splits the voices. It seems really like Bach. He must have been an incredible fiddle player to be able to play the stuff he was writing on the violins they were using then, fiddle down here, no chin rest, no shoulder rest, like gut strings out, going out of tune after you breathe on them. You take the fiddle out of you go from the green room to the concert hall and you transpose down a third.
By the time we've walked on stage, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that has actually happened.
Really?
The wings, right? You wait for a couple of minutes, applause, like you go on and you play the A string and you're like, this is going to be a 10-minute job. You've got to get the thing between your knees and like crank this gut, like.
And actually really value the difference online, seeing it in the flesh.
There's one that might come out of it, actually. I hadn't thought about that.
The internet has taken over. We just take it for granted that it feels the same, and obviously it doesn't.
Yeah, and everything's becoming so increasingly virtual. I mean, the better that the recording gets and the better that the TV gets, the better that the speaker systems gets. I've seen, not unfortunately in my house, but I've seen, digital Berlin Field digital concert hall up on a TV so good, with a speaker system so good, that it is pretty damn immersive. But as it gets better, it will never be the same. But the chemistry in the room will never be recreated. What was it like Rostropovich? They used to tell us all the time at school, like Rostropovich used to, you'd imagine like a piece of string going to every member of the audience, or like a thread, but you just can't do that.
It's a nice piece of thread going to the camera. Certainly, I think we're gonna have to try harder to
exactly
convince people how important it is, and with the cuts that are bound to come, why it needs to remain, and really have to push hard to almost sell it to the people that are going to want to scrap it.
We're going to have to try really, really hard, especially when it's sort of a risk. Still going until there's a vaccine, it will still be a risk of some description to go into a hall. We're really going to have to work hard to persuade people to come to the concert hall, and I think that change has been coming for a while, and I think this will probably accelerate it quite drastically. I think we weren't trying hard enough. If you can get X 100,000 people to go to a rock festival, then we should not X 100,000 people to come to a classical music concert, but we should be closer. And maybe this will make us think differently in the long term, as in the next 50 years, maybe. Thank you
so much for coming and chatting.
Oh, it was very nice to talk to you, and I hope we can actually play some notes together again soon.
Yeah. No, we'll definitely do that. See if there's some way of doing a socially distant.
To do a concert in the park, we can take up busking. Maybe like if all does really go down the pan, maybe like busking will become like the most competitive thing ever. To get like a license to busk on the tube. I'll be sort of like trying to get a license, be in like the worst spot, at like 3 a.m.
That's my slot. Come and support me.
It's a pleasure.